Okay, everybody, we have a special guest today. I know you know her, white American lady.
Black African guy.
Okay, so I have, I'm just going to bring her here so that we can ask some few questions. I know on my YouTube channel people are asking so many questions about when you come here, especially the green card lottery winners, when you locate here with the family. Maybe those are kind of the questions about schooling, about life, about purchasing stuff, whatever, all those kind of things we need to know. So one of the better way is to ask her some few questions, and she can be able to let us know different kind of things for sinners causing trouble here. So okay, so I have a couple questions, and these questions I believe will be very helpful for immigrants, and especially the brand new immigrants or people who are winning the DV lottery and they want to locate here with their families, or even international students who want to come with their families. So there are a couple questions I want to ask you. Those questions will be ranging from saving the money.
Go ahead, go
saving the money from purchasing stuff, what are the techniques you are using, and all other kind of relationship and all those kind of things of questions. So let me go straight to question number one.
I'm not an expert, just remember.
You're not an expert, it's just your personal opinion.
It's just my personal opinion.
If someone comes here, is a brand new immigrant, green card lottery winner, from day one.
Claire, play with your sister. Claire now. Sasa.
It's your first time someone comes here, and let's say you have the child or children, and they want to save some money from shopping. What advice will you be able to give someone? What are the techniques do you use if you want to shop?
Wow.
Because sometimes, for instance, coming from Africa, myself, I'll be thinking, let me go to the nice mall, get good stuff. But those are expensive. So what will be advice for someone to be able to do?
Okay, so the basic thing is that you want to get quality sometimes more than quantity, because you've got to eat to stay alive, and so the quality of your food is more important than the quantity. Now, of course, if it's super cheap and you get quantity over qualities, and you can still get enough that it's enough, that's okay. So like, say you got a 10-pound bag of potatoes for $1. That's really good. And
for $1, you
yeah,
said.
for $1. I'm sorry. I forget. For $1. So my mom would be like, now that's what you pay for, $1 for a 10-pound bag of potatoes. Now, that's a really good deal. It's actually not easy to get that. You have to wait. So there are very many ways you can find out about sales. And don't let anybody shame you into making you feel like saving money is a bad thing. You're an American now. You want to save money. I mean, it's expensive here. Even for Americans, it's really, really, really expensive. And so the only people who don't care about saving money are people that have a lot of money. And they just throw it away. You know, they'll buy their little baby a $1,000 dress. Who cares? Okay, that's not us. We're just regular Americans. So you want to save money. I mean, if you want to impress somebody, fine, you know, make a nice meal, but don't do it all the time, you know? Like, for example, good example would be, now, what I know, I don't know if it's the same for everybody, but the steak is pretty much the same. So here, London broil is probably your best bet. London broil is probably your best bet. It's a cheaper cut. It's still expensive, but it's a cheaper cut than a lot of others. See, when you go to the store, it's very rare that you're going to find a butcher unless you're somewhere in a really big city and you go to a butcher. But anyway, they're still going to have cuts of meat. They don't just give you whatever. Yeah. And you have to buy that meat. It's in a package. It's wrapped up, and it's going to say the name of the cut. Okay? So what I've seen the past 11 years with Ernest is he likes a really tough meat, something he can get his teeth into. So that's extremely opposite of what Americans like. Americans like a very tender, juicy, just melt in your mouth
like a
type
baby.
Of meat. Like, exactly. So, you know, there's some really expensive cuts of meat. Like, you could pay like
$15
$20 per pound.
And okay? 1 pound is a half kilogram, by the way.
So be very careful. Don't just buy any meat. And also, we also figured out that you don't have to buy a steak, if you're gonna eat it, we figured out that you could just buy like what we call a roast, R-O-A-S-T, and it's kind of like, you want to explain, it's like a rounded piece of meat, and they're gonna have a name for it, like now I'm not going to remember the names of these roasts, but the point is that it looks kind of rounded, and it might, like, one side of it might have fat on it, because usually in America what we do with these roasts is we put them in the oven and it gets like that crinkly, crackly on the fat, and then the fat juices go into the meat, okay? But for like Ernest's purpose, he'll cut the fat off, and then he cuts up the meat, and then he puts it on the skewers, you know, and then he has mishkaki. So that it's just a way to save money, and usually convenience costs more money. Anything that's easy costs more money. So if the meat's already cut up in little pieces, it usually costs more money
because someone
has already done that for you.
Yeah.
But sometimes you need to have the convenience, and so you pay the extra 30 or 40 or 50 cents per pound because it's convenient for you. But so you have to know, and you have to budgeting to know how much is it, how much do I have. You just don't go spend money. And if you have to eat, like when we were first married, it was bread and peanut butter. That was it. We were really, you had to be really careful. And so it's only nowadays, and even then, that we're really, we're careful. Meat is more expensive than chicken or steak or pork.
And gizzards in the
and actually gizzards, liver, heart, these are things that are actually really cheap. So if you like those things, most Americans don't really care for them. In the South, it's in the South of the United States, it's a bigger, more people like it. But here in the Midwest, and the West, in the East, in the North, whatever, people don't really get it. So sometimes you're not even going to be able to find it, but other times you'll see it either frozen or in a little container. So usually you
can get 1 pound of gizzards, the one from the chicken, for $1. Mm-hmm. While in Tanzania, for instance, you can get two just like
pieces.
2 pieces or 3 pieces for 50 cents.
See,
so here it's cheaper, and over there is expensive.
And actually, it's much healthier for you. Those pieces of meat have so much
protein.
It's pure protein. So here in the United States, we're spoiled. We really are.
Just like other things like which we usually take for granted, like the difference between brown egg and white egg. The price of brown egg is higher than the price of white egg.
And the only reason is because it's the what do we call it? We're what kind of society of we're not socialist, we're what is it? Capitalist. We're capitalists. So people are gonna try and make money any way they can. That's not evil. That's just the way that the society is. I'm not saying capitalism is perfect. Absolutely not. But here's the thing. Whether your chicken lays a white egg, a brown egg, a blue egg, a pink egg, a spotted egg, it doesn't really matter. It's an egg. And but here, for whatever reason, people believe, they've been led to believe that brown eggs are somehow healthier than white eggs. And that's not the case. So buy your white eggs. I mean, it just by the way.
Anything, yeah, that would be like
Can I just say something about eggs real quick, because this is really different. In the United States, the eggs are washed before they're sent to the stores, so you have to keep them in the refrigerator. It's totally different than even in the United Kingdom or Africa, where you get it from the chicken, you don't wash it, and because when you wash it, you take off that protective layer that's already been put on there by the hen.
Yeah, so that is another way of saving, like how are you going to buy? And sometimes, let's say, I'm giving an example, today we are buying the meat. So I purchased the steak, which I know the due date or the day is supposed to...
You also have to check the dates, yes. Right. That's another thing.
It's going to be like, it's going to be on Sunday.
Right.
But it's cheaper because it's going to expire, or like you must use it before or put in the freezer by this date, because it's quicker, closer date, it's become cheaper. And I know I'm going to use it probably tomorrow, very late on Saturday.
But it's really important that you know about dates here, because meat, chicken, whatever, anything that's not shelf stable where you leave it in a box and it won't go bad. those, if it doesn't, you've got to check dates. There are people that will, even in America, they just pick stuff off the, even if it's milk or whatever, and they end up with bad milk because you can't count on the store to just take back the expired things off. And if you need to understand more about this, please ask. I would really be helpful. I'd be happy. I don't want you to waste money. And you were asking me how to save money. So there are so many ways to save money. You can go to Google and type in save money on groceries. What would you call it? Is you call them groceries there, or like food? Save money on food. And there's things called coupons. And nowadays, you don't really, there's not a lot of cutting out in the paper and things that, but it's mostly online. Like if you are at, for example, if you shop at a specific food store, many times they'll have a website and you just sign up. Just get an email, sign up for their little card or whatever, and then they have electronic coupons and you just check them all, who cares? And if you buy that item, you're gonna save money on it. Also look, a lot of people, if they're living in an apartment or a house, they get what we call circulars. It's what do we call it?
Just like the circulation, just not in the newspaper, but they're specific for ads.
They're ads, okay. And usually people call that junk mail and they just throw it away because they don't care. But these things they'll have like for the regular stores in your area,
dates.
And they'll tell you like this is on sale, and some of them are really thorough. Like they have 3-4 pages of sales, and not everything is really on sale. Ernest is really big about saying everything's on sale because it's for sale. So sometimes they might put like 10 for 10 items for $10. Now you have to know that one item, even if you buy 10, sometimes you don't have to buy all 10. But is it worth $1, or are they just trying to get more money out of you? You have to really like learn the system, and it takes time. I didn't learn it on my own. My mother taught me. And then I taught Ernest. So, and even my dad, he's amazing. He wouldn't touch a coupon. He wouldn't do anything, and it was so embarrassing for him. And now he's like a total pro. Way to go, Dad. So, so there's electronic coupons. You can check for sales and you can even look online on their websites for sales. Also, if the places where you shop are closer, then it's okay to go to this shop for like 5 things and 10 things here. But if you have shops all over the place, sometimes it saves money to just pay a little more. And what I mean by save money is time, and also you're so tired, and maybe you have children,
and
or gasoline and all these things. So say you've got one store, and then the other store you want to buy all those
minutes.
And it's all those sale things, but they're 20 minutes away. How much are you really saving by going to this other store? Unless you're going to make, it's not a special trip. Like say you purposely go there because you work by it or whatever. So let me get a good example is here where we live, everything's like in a 5-mile radius. Like it's just one street of all these stores basically. But there's one store called Trader Joe's, which is a small boutique kind of store. It has special products, but there are certain things that we like to buy there, but it's about a half hour away from us. And so we don't go there but maybe once every couple months. And the prices are great, but it just isn't worth our time and effort and energy and everything to go a half hour away. Now, coming from California where you sit in traffic for hours on end, you might think, oh, that's no big deal. But trust me, there is a hurry in America. In Africa, you have no hurry.
No,
and, it's like whatever. But here, unfortunately, your time is just cut so short because it's a different lifestyle. And like for example, we have seasons here where it's not just, we have in most places, and even the time that it gets dark is different. So in the fall, like say October, November, December, January, it gets dark really early. So you can't be outside. You can't have fun with the kids outside or your friends. You can't hang out, just be around.
For instance, right now it's 7 something.
And it's 7:30. It's not as bad. And we have tree coverage too.
And
so
still you see the light outside.
And so in the summertime here, it can stay light until 9 or 9:30. And the farther north you go, the more light it stays at night. But here's
I want to ask you something on that.
Okay.
Can you explain to people how you can save from one season, like we entered the winter, we are in spring going summer. How are you going to buy the things for summer in advance or before or the winter?
That is
from one
such
season
a good
to another?
point. I think that's an excellent point, and I wish I kind of understood this better when I was younger. But then again, I didn't care about.
Born in California.
Yeah,
so.
but even still, I wasn't really concerned with. I just don't have that designer thing where I can't wear one thing from season only this season, and then I can't wear it the next season, or that's just not me. Okay, so here's the thing.
Jojo, see what? Jojo, wait. What do you mean put Jojo?
So, if you're concerned about who sees you in your clothes, if you've worn that in this season, but then you can't wear that season, I can't help you. But if you're okay with wearing clothes from season to season to season, or that particular dress or pair of trousers or blouse, or whatever, was made in 2020, but you're still wearing it in 2021, okay, then I can help you. So here's the thing. Here in the United States, sales is huge. So it's just another marketing technique, okay? So basically, what you want, you never want to pay full price unless you absolutely have to. Full price means is like convenience, and it's usually marked up so much. So I have this really pretty silver colored sweater, and it was originally $75. And I wasn't going to pay $75 for this beautiful sweater, so I waited until it was on sale and I had a coupon and all these other things so I could get it at a lower price. There are various stores that they're known. They've actually had problems with because they put their merchandise out for the first time and it's on sale. For example, Carter's, Oshkosh B'gosh, and Children's Place. These are all children's stores. They're boutique stores, but they have good clothing, usually. It's not Target or Walmart. I mean, it's still probably made in China or somewhere else, but the quality's a little better. So anyway, these stores, when they put out most of their merchandise, it's already on sale. 20, 30, 40. They'll use words like doorbuster or whatever. Basically, they're just trying to get you. But here's the thing. You're still not paying full price. So full price is really only a convenience that you should absolutely do if you have no other choice.
Yeah, like some people they know that I have different type of hoodie I'm wearing on my videos.
Right.
The time I decided to purchase those one, it was almost near spring.
So I was going to talk about that.
They were about like $25 each, but they were $7 because the cold is almost over when I was purchasing them.
So here's the thing. What you want to do, so for example, if you're not in Hawaii, if you're not in Florida, California, these are, or like near the Gulf of Mexico, things like that, they still have a variation in temperature, except for Hawaii, of course. But basically, it's not as cold. I mean, I did wear sweaters and trousers in California when it was wintertime, but it's not significant like these other places. Like we live near Kansas City, it gets really, really cold. So but stores still do this. So what they'll do is, let's just start with summer. It's just easier that way. So all the summer clothing will come out in spring, like towards the maybe like a month into the spring season. So I'm talking about the spring equinox or whatever it's called, like spring, the actual date. So, and they start putting out all these summer clothing, like your bathing suits and your shorts and your t-shirts and things like that. And then, so those things are out, okay? Like little dresses, whatever, okay? And then we have like back to school. Most children here in the United States go back to school between August and September. Some have year-round school, but it's still kind of like that. But so that's back to school. I know that's a lot different than in Africa where you go back to school in January. So, but anyway, here back to school is August and September. So, and even like the colleges and universities too. So they'll do like back to school sales. What happens is they're rotating out the summer clothing and putting in a little bit of warmer clothing, okay? And so you might see some jackets or some longer sleeve shirts or some trousers, sweatpants, sweatshirts, whatever, jeans, things like that. And there's going to put marking down, like lowering the price of the summer items. Some things will never go on sale. And that's just the way it is, because it has no season, or they don't care because it's they can sell it all the time, or whatever it is. Like, for example, and I'm not going to go on a tangent, okay, but like Apple products, the only time they ever go on sale is on like
when another product comes.
Well,
like
well, not
Apple.
even, yeah, another thing, or there's Black Friday and it's like $100 off. Okay, that's not really a sale. When things are $1,000 and you got $100 off, it's not a sale. So they can sell those things anytime, but clothing seasonal. Okay, so then you're gonna have like the fall clothing, and then it starts to get colder, like November, December, depending on where you live. It could start snowing in September or October.
Yeah.
If you're living in Montana, Dakotas, Wyoming, things like that, it gets cold fast. So they're gonna have all of their jackets and all of those other things out earlier, and so then you're gonna buy okay. So then winter, then they're gonna bring the spring things in probably January or February, because people are so excited to get rid of the cold. So they start bringing these things in. And so the winter things will go on sale, and then the spring stuff. And then we continue, like, then we go into summer. So basically, what you want to do, if you want to save money on clothing, and you can pretty much guess what size either you or your husband or your family or your children will be in 1 year's time, which is, if you're not going to gain weight, if you're not going to lose weight or whatever, it's pretty easy to figure that out. And even like the little ones, they only usually go up one size per year, usually. Not the shoes, but the clothes.
Yeah.
So say, for example, right now, Claire is 5 years old, and she's in usually like a 5 or a 6. She's heading into a 6 because her birthday's in November. And she's very active. So I can pretty much, I've actually already done it. I've purchased clothing for next year. That's size 7, 8. So 7, 8. Sometimes that's what they usually do. They'll put like a 7, 8. They don't just have a 7 or 8. So that it's in kids clothing. And so I'm going to save it for next year. There are things that I got that were originally $30, $40, $50 that I got for maybe $10 or $15. I got Benedict some long sleeves t-shirts for 99 cents, and they were originally $15. Now Benedict didn't care that he might wear it. I actually bought it in a 12 and I bought it in a 14. He didn't care. He said, "I'll wear whatever you want, Mama." And for 99 cents, I think I can handle buying a couple t-shirts, but you gotta watch those sales, and things sell out quickly, and it's all on, the biggest thing is it's easier to do it online, and I think people have learned this with COVID. You could, buy online. If you measure your children, we use inches here, so just, and it'll have like size charts usually on these websites, so you can tell your child is this long, or their waist is this long, or their hips are this big, or whatever it is.
And also projection of growth when you go to the doctor, they tell you how many inches they might project.
Right,
maybe
but even still, like I said, they probably only will go up one size or whatever. But here's the thing: if you end up buying the clothes and they don't fit your children next year, but you keep the tags, you could resell them online, like eBay or whatever, or give them to charity, or you could resell them in your community. There's various ways to do it. So basically what we do is we have plastic containers, and we take all of the clothes that we're going to use next year, and I just keep them all folded nice, keep the tags on them, and I put them away, and I save them until the season they're for. So we have jackets and sweaters and things that I will wash, and then I will put them away for next season, because they're going to still fit the children. Usually a jacket is pretty good for 2 years, and where did you get those?
Over there.
Okay, sorry, the children. So, but and there are various other things. But now that we're heading into summer, I'm looking for t-shirts. I'm looking for thinner, long sleeve things that I can buy for next spring. I already bought some winter clothing for next year, and I actually got a coat, a $65 coat for $15 for Benedict. And so he's growing. We say he's growing like a weed.
Yeah, give to Faustina.
We say he's growing like a weed, and it means like the weeds, they grow so fast and so high. So Bennick's getting older, so that's why. But I highly encourage, even with adult things, if you can wear them, keep wearing them. Like you know, don't just say I wore it 5 times, I can't wear it anymore. And also how you launder things is really important. Here in the United States, with I would never suggest that you wash most of your clothes hand washing, because it takes too long, and you're gonna find out it's just not. But also, you have to read the directions on what what your washing machine can do and how it does it, because there are different cycles, like delicate and medium and then like super dirty and all of these other things, and you have to be able to figure out what's best. Never wash your clothes in hot. They will just get totally destroyed unless you know. And see, okay, I'm going to show you. There is a label here. It not only tells you the size of this clothing, but if it's here, or sometimes there's a label
on the side.
I think it's on this side here. I might have taken it out. But anyway, it'll tell you the washing instructions. If you don't understand, just ask somebody or Google it. But just let me finish.
Yeah.
So you really want to be very careful. You can always wash your towels in hot, but you have to be careful with other things. But you really want to take care of your clothing. One way to take care of clothing is to hang dry. If you have a place that you can hang dry your clothes and it's not in the way, and I highly recommend hang drying clothes because
okay, wait a minute first.
You're going to already have wear and tear from the washing machine. So if you put it in the dryer is, it's a lot. So if you hang some of your clothes to dry, then it's keeping the fabric from deteriorating a lot. There's some things it's either too hard, or it's just a waste of time, or you need it right away and you have to do it. And then there, of course, are clothes that you have to iron. Is it really worth it for you to iron stuff? That's something you have to decide. What kind of, well, not only that, but what kind of, where do you work? Do you iron your shirts, or do you take it, and then there's, ironing shirts, or do you take them to the dry cleaners where they do it for you?
Yeah.
There's a lot, and see, that's another convenience. These are things you have to be ready and willing to do. It's, I know that in most Western European countries, it's pretty much the same, or like Australia, things like that, where, we have washing machines and we have dry cleaners and we have people that'll do your laundry for you, things like that. But again, these are all convenience. Where I've seen, at least in Tanzania, where it's a big job to do, scrubbing sheets. That's amazing, and that's a lot of work, and that's a full-time job just doing laundry itself. So I just want to reiterate that it's really important to not be shamed into feeling like you can't save money on things. There's no reason why you can't. There are even celebrities that will say, I'm not going to spend all these thousands of dollars for something that I could get for this even on sale. And they know not everybody was born with money surrounding them, and they get that there's no reason to waste money. So yeah, and the thing that goes with shoes too. You can do the same thing with shoes, but whereas adults, their feet usually don't grow. Okay, once you get to a certain point, your shoe size. Where there's a caveat to that, because each shoe company makes their shoes different, and each style of shoe. So you have to measure your foot, and you can use a thing, but also you not only want to measure the length, but you want to measure the width.
Yeah.
Okay, you don't want to just push your foot into a shoe, because then it will ruin your feet, and that's really important, because people during the 50s, 60s, they did that, and they're suffering so much with their feet now. My mom, and even me, I forced my feet into shoes and they didn't fit properly, and my bones and everything. Children, their feet sometimes can grow a half size or a size every 3 to 6 months. So you got to be really careful. You don't want to buy them totally cheap shoes that either will just fall apart, because then you're wasting money. But at the same time, if you buy them a pair of $100 shoes, how long are they wearing it? Are you willing then okay, so if that might be, is it a quality shoe for $100? That might be. Okay, so fine. If it's a quality shoe, but does that mean that you're gonna wash it, keep it clean, and save it for the next child? Or are you gonna sell it to someone else or whatever? I can see that, you know, but you also have to be careful because the shoe retains all of the germs and bacteria and things from the child. So can they be washed? I mean, a lot of shoes can't be washed, you know, and so you have to be careful with that. So I try to find a middle ground. There are shoes that I will buy at Walmart that are $15 or $20, and that seems like a lot. And it actually, I mean, it is, okay?
Decent for a season.
It's, right, here's the thing, yeah, but like maybe, yeah, a season or two. And, but they don't hold up like some of the other shoes. Now here's the thing. I might buy a pair of shoes that's worth $60, but I wait until it's like $25 or I got a coupon or something else, because then but I know it's a quality shoe. I've read reviews, I've talked to other people. You know, just because it's popular doesn't mean it's a good shoe. Just because you know, you see an advertisement